from this theme that we've got so far around being a bit shy, being a bit introverted, you know, really knowing that you have a gift, wanting to share that gift, but also feeling really scared, is something that will come up for all of us. Now, sometimes people call themselves an introvert. And even if you don't label yourself as an introvert, you will have introverted tendencies, those tendencies to shy away from difficulty and challenge. And you may be sitting in the room right now in a 9 to 5, hoping and wanting to start your own business, your own side hustle, but haven't quite done it yet. Or you may have started, but it's not building in the way that you would love for it to build. So I have an incredible guest speaker for you today. Please help me welcome Miss Lynda Manning. Lynda Manning, welcome. You're going to have to unmute yourself, sweetheart, or we're not going to be able to hear a word that you've got to say. How you doing?
Good. Thank you.
Great
Thanks
stuff.
for having me.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. We are so lucky to hear from you today. So tell us a little bit about the work that you do with your clients. It's around the introverted side hustle.
Yeah, so I started my business almost 12 months ago now, and I work with shy entrepreneurs who have absolutely no experience at all in starting a side hustle or a business. And my role in their development is to basically get them started. So they do all the market research that they need, because that's key coming from a product background.
Yeah.
Up until the point where they can launch with confidence, because they know they've got all the foundational steps in place.
And that's so important, to be able to launch with confidence. I mean, you know, this is our lives here, but you said something really key there around helping them to get started. What do you think, what have you seen holds people back from actually getting started? Because, you know, they're constantly got the thought, I'm going to do it one day, I'm going to do it one day. What stops people? What gets in the way?
Yeah, I think there's this false belief, I think, of people not having the time, the money, the energy, that just something is just there that's holding them back. Maybe it is the confidence as well. You know, there's a lot of people that are really worried about what the friends, family will think, what the colleagues will think at work. And in reality, if it's set up in a way that works for you, you don't need to worry about that.
And so how do they, like when you work with people, how do you help them to find what is going to work for them, pardon me?
So in the first instance, what I do is usually go through a short phone call with them, find out what their inspiration is, what their passions and hobbies are. And then we work through a schedule, because, you know, of course, a lot of these people who will come to me are people who have 9 to 5 jobs, who haven't necessarily got a lot of time in the evenings or weekends, because they may have kids. So we'll look at a structure and a time plan that will work with them, so they don't feel like they are getting burnt out, that, you know, stress and everything like that on them. So I'll really work with them to make sure it fits in with what they can do with their time. And then, you know, some people it will take longer, some people, you know, be shorter time frames, but that's what I'll work with them on.
Yeah, and so this is such important work, right? Because really what's happening is you're helping people take a dream and turn it into a reality. Because a lot of the time we have this dream, right? But the big picture scares us, because we can't actually see how we bring this vision and this dream into a tangible reality. And, you know, what you're saying is, to get started, you've got to be able to see the micro steps, the clear, tiny, actionable steps that you can do that work around your current circumstances. It's not about going from 0 to hero overnight, right? So, you know, and what's key here is you say side hustle. So it's not about giving up everything that you're doing right now, why is side hustle so important as a way to get started?
I think because there is a lot of risk and people aren't necessarily in a position or willing to take a risk. I know I did at one point. I was like, right, that's it. I'm off. I'm giving up. I've quit. And I know you remember, you
Yeah.
remember that point. And you know, it does get to a point where you think, this is taking longer than I expected. I only wanted to give myself a couple of months to see if this works, and it's not quite working yet. So I think the idea is that you allow yourself that time to really get to grips with what you want. The side hustle, because it is so key, getting something that you are passionate about, and that's what I coach in. Because if you're not 100% behind it, you're just going to go off and do something else. So it is about being able to, like you say, have it all. So you can still do your 9 to 5 and start a side hustle at the same time. And then you can build it up to a point where it will take over your 9 to 5 in regards to income, money, and freedom. And then that's when you can then shift to that becoming your full-time hustle.
Yeah, because starting a business is literally stepping into a new identity. And, you know, if people have not done it before and they start something and then they don't, so you mentioned, like, if they don't have a clear plan, a lot of the time they won't keep at it. And then what's going to happen is they'll then judge themselves, tell themselves that they're not cut out for business. But it wasn't that, was it? It was just that they didn't have a clear plan that they could follow.
Yeah, the clear plan and just the grit and determination just to stick with it.
Yeah.
Stick with it.
Well, and I think sometimes the grit and determination, you can't, like, you know, you can't do it on your own. We can't live this life on our own. We can't create businesses on our own. And so that's why it's so important to have someone like yourself in our corner championing for, you know, us to keep going, especially on those really hard days, right? What do you think is like one of the biggest challenges that you see for people in staying the course, not just getting started, but then staying?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Is it that they try to do it on their own?
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
I know, I've certainly been there. It definitely is. You think you can do it all on your own. You know, you see these stories of self-made millionaires, and it's just not true.
It's not, listen,
It's
no
just not
one
true.
is self-made. Let's be really freaking clear, right? No one is self-made. We need others in our corner, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And you need the support, not necessarily from friends and family, because that's something I've learned, and
Yeah.
you grow from that. But you definitely do need people in your corner, a really good supportive community,
Yes.
and a good coach that will help you lead the way.
Yeah, that's right. Because ultimately our friends and our family love us, but they can't understand the journey that we're on. And they're gnawing at us for the role that we play in their life, husband, wife, you know, mother, father. And that's why we need, as you said, the community of people that are doing the same thing as us to normalize our experiences. And then our coach is there to kick us up the butt and keep us going in the right direction. So absolutely incredible work that you do. If people want to find you, what's the best social media platform for them to connect with you on?
Facebook, 100%. And it's Lynda LMC Coaching.
Perfect. Guys, please help me in giving Lynda a big round of applause. Incredible shares. Thank you so much, Lynda. You did great. Amazing stuff.